Got into it because my dad had cancer for 7 years. Doctor said you have 7 weeks to live, and he turned his life around, lived another 7 years.
Don't switch from business to business, job to job, relationship to relationship. Stick with one thing, see it through, give all you got, and then make it work.
In the past 2 years, we've gone from 0 stores to 0 to 50, and then the last year we've gone 50 to about 120 grocery stores.
Hello everybody, on this episode of Proof of Concept, I talked to two brothers that have been in business since they were 13 and 15. 7 years ago, when their dad had terminal brain cancer, they decided to found their company, Brothers Nuts. They have since scaled it to $300,000 a year in revenue, a Whole Foods pitch, and even a potential Shark Tank appearance. I know you guys will enjoy this one. What college did you go to?
I went to Indiana University.
And how old are you now?
I'm 22 now.
And what made you money while you were in school?
While I was in school, running my company, doing a little side jobs, but it was mainly running our company, selling nuts, the healthiest snack to as many people as we could.
And I'm just curious, what were some of the side jobs that you had?
Some of the side jobs, you name it. Cutting lawns, shoveling driveways. Yeah, those are the two of the biggest, but then just helping odd jobs, cleaning up wherever I could, washing cars, I did it all.
Yeah, through and through entrepreneur. And with those other things that you've done on the side, what lessons do you take from those that maybe you apply to the nut business?
I would say the biggest thing is, it's the quote, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're going to do a crappy job that you don't like, do it to your best of your ability. If you have a job that you're going to love, do it to the best of your ability.
And how long have you been in the nut business for?
It's coming on 8 years almost now, 7 years, almost 8 years.
And how old are you when it started?
We initially started, my younger brother was 13 and I was actually 15.
But how did it actually start?
Yeah, we started, long story short, our father diagnosed stage 4 brain cancer, given 7 weeks to live. He needed a snack that was healthy, but he wanted to enjoy what he was eating. And our mom started making him in the kitchen just for him. And then once that set back, once he passed away in 2017, we're like, okay, let's take this step back, turn it into a setup, and see what we can do and how many people we can impact.
And that was a lot of fuel to keep going at the beginning, right?
Oh, it was all the fuel. It still is the fuel today.
And in these 7 years of running the business, what is the biggest lesson that you've taken away?
The biggest thing is just start. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You don't know. We were 13 and 15. We had no idea what we were doing. We never ran a company before. We were still in middle school and high school at the time. We had no idea. But guess what? We started. And then I would say the biggest thing is, don't switch from one thing to another. Don't switch from business to business, job to job, relationship to relationship. Stick with one thing, see it through, give all you got, and then make it work.
Now, how do you know when is the right time to quit versus when is the right time to pivot?
I think it's really case by case. We could have quit so many times. From our bank account going literally down to a couple $100. That is it, because we had to pay our purchase orders and invoices and employees, like stuff like that. And I strategize, pivot, and just move. I think it really depends on varies for business to business.
And I know you mentioned employees there. When it comes to scaling, how important is delegation?
It's very important. I'm not the best at it. I'm trying to get better at it because I love to have my hands on everything and try to control everything, just make sure it runs smoothly. But delegation is huge, and that's what we're going through right now, scaling from 0 stores a year and a half ago to 125 stores now, and then within the next 6 months closer to 250.
You guys had a conversation about pitching on Shark Tank, right?
We did.
Well, how was that? Tell me about it.
Nerve-wracking. I was a little nervous. We were nervous for it, and so we'll see what happens here in the next couple months or next 6 to 8 months with the producers and the show, but time will tell.
And for anybody that's hesitant to start their own business, to start their own thing, what is the one piece of advice you would say to them?
If you're hesitant to start your own business, just know that if you give it all you got, you put yourself in the right position at the right time, right? And just hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard, right? Just continue to do the right thing, no matter who's looking or what's happening. The right things will come to you.
I know you mentioned putting yourself in the right position at the right time. How important is luck when it comes to business?
The harder I work, the luckier I get. I think luck comes when you put yourself in that position. And if you're not in that position, you're not going to be that lucky.
Amen. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
What college do you go to?
I go to the University of Illinois.
And what makes you money while you're in school?
I sell nuts with my brother.
So you have a business?
Yeah, it's a nut company.
How long have you been doing this for?
7 years, since I was 13 years old. I was a little kid selling nuts.
And how did you get into this business?
I got into it because my dad had cancer for 7 years. Doctor said you have 7 weeks to live, and he turned his life around, lived another 7 years, and nothing out there was healthy enough and tasty enough. So we had to make it for him.
And you said your dad turned his life around. How exactly did he do that?
Taking a diagnosis where he should have been dead in 7 weeks and living another 7 years was a huge deal. And a big part of that was, his diet. His diet was a big part of it, changing just the foods he ate and the environment that he surrounded himself in.
And you run this company with your brother. Is there any other members of your family that help out?
So it's a real family business. I employ everyone from my youngest sister, 13 years old, to my mom, who's our chief flavor officer, CFO.
Running a business with your brother as well as your family could probably be challenging just because it's a lot of communication. You got to have to communicate as a family, but also business as well. How do you manage that?
If you look up online, if you should start a business with your family, like they say no, they say don't do it. But for me personally, I'm never going to stab my brother in the back, my mom in the back, my sisters in the back. I'm never going to do that. So for me, it's a no-brainer. And honestly, I'm so close to out of all my siblings, I come from a big family. I have seven kids. So out of all the siblings, I'm closest to my brother because we're talking all day long. Whether it's our personal life or the business, we're always talking.
And you mentioned college. Did you always go to U of I?
No. So I started out at a community college locally, saved some money there, did it all online, worked in the business pretty much full time, and I transferred to the University of Illinois this past year.
You also are running a business. It probably would have been easy to go full time on the business. Why did you end up going to college?
With college, the biggest thing they talk about is the network and the experience. And for me, getting those interpersonal social skills, finding out how to go from strangers to best friends with someone in business is probably the number one thing to do. Whether that's in my business, having to sell to these big grocery stores and corporations and buyers, turning them from a stranger that they don't like me because I'm a salesperson to a best friend, I love you, you're part of the family now, it is huge, and it's a vital skill that in every business will allow you to excel.
And now at this point, you've been in college for a year. If somebody was on the fence about whether or not they should go to college, what is the one thing you would say to them?
I'd say to start small, just like I did. I started with community college. I got all the gen eds out of the way. I'm actually going to graduate from U of I in 3 years. I saved so much money doing it, and I still got the experience in. So start small if you're not super confident, and grow from there.
And how important is sales as a skill in today's day and age?
Sales is everything. From talking to that girl, from getting that new customer, from selling my nuts to a new grocery store. When I'm in the grocery store having people try, it's everything. You're always selling yourself, your product, your family, your business, everything.
In these 7 years of being in business, what has been your proudest moment?
I think that's two-part. One, the success we've had in retail stores, grocery stores. Our product's unique, right? It's the healthiest product around. It's expensive. It's a premium product. And we went from 3 grocery stores with the Fresh Time stores in the Midwest. We went from 3 in under a year, we went to 30, and then in like 4 months, we went to 70, all of the grocery stores. And for a brand new brand like that, doing what we did, we're just so fortunate, and we worked super hard to make it happen. Proudest moment is honestly when the customer tries the product. Because so often people are just like me. They can't have dairy, they can't have gluten. There's nothing out there that does what our product does. And when they finally taste it and go, wow, something this healthy can taste this good, puts a smile on my face, my entire family's face.
And what does growth look like for you guys?
Starting 13 years old, we called it a glorified lemonade stand, that was a nut company. But present day, in the past 2 years, we've gone from 0 stores to 0 to 50, and then the last year we've gone 50 to about 120 grocery stores, from Fresh Time to Mom's Organic Market on the East Coast. And then in next year, we're going to be in about 500 or 600 grocery stores, including Whole Foods Market and some other regional chains.
The number of how many bags of nuts you guys have actually sold?
That's a good question. It's hard to say. It's definitely in the tens of thousands of bags of nuts. Pounds wise, I mean, at this point, we're ordering containers, trucks full of nuts. That's like 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of nuts at a time is what we're ordering right now.
Damn, that's a lot of nuts, man. That's a lot of nuts. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Well, that's that. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a follow and even mention anybody that you think that we should interview in the future or any schools that we should even go to. Thank you.